We're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. We're at Sycamore Crossing, and it's time for the All-Star panel. We have Bruce, Rick, and Jane, and myself, and we're ready to go. Now, Bruce.
I defer.
Can you wait? Bruce, can you wait?
I want to give you as much time as possible.
Yeah, and I've changed my mind.
It's going south.
Really?
BKP is going south.
I mean, we had it all right.
Point of order.
Point of. All right. Let me try this again. All right. Well, sorry, it's a little inside joke that we did. All right. We have a lot of fun, but we got something serious we're going to talk about. Bruce, all jokes aside, every week you're saying, you say, what about that Kegel thing? So if I can get a little extra time, can I get a little extra time?
Yes, sir.
Bruce, the script, you're supposed to say, I defer my 2
minutes to you.
Nothing like writing a script for this guy.
Where's Maxine Waters when you need
her? How about you? Can you handle the script?
I defer my time to the chair.
Dang, he got it right. And no, what am I going to get here?
I already said I changed my mind. I want my full 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay, let's just say this and we'll have the conversation because, yes, I know if you say Russia 3 times fast, something happens, or you got to say Russia 8 times per CNN segment every 12 minutes or something like that. But we're not going to do that right now, okay? So here's what we're going to talk about. Casey Cagle is the lieutenant governor running against Brian Kemp. I'm going to put it in a frame and then we can discuss it. Brian Kemp is the Secretary of State.
Both running for governor.
Both running for governor of Georgia. Now, why this is an important conversation that we're having here is because the President of the United States has weighed in. President Donald Trump sent out a tweet approximately 3 o'clock day before yesterday, about 3:30. Was it Wednesday?
Yep.
3:30 Wednesday, saying that he endorsed Brian Kemp, fully endorsed Brian Kemp, which I kind of liked it because Casey Cagle found out when the tweet went out. That's how he found out that he was going to endorse Brian Kemp for governor. I happened to be the first person that Casey Cagle got to see after that announcement. So I did a little 2-minute interview, and I asked him. I got it online there, YouTube. I asked him. He was coming to LJ. He was in Dahlonega. He found out the president endorsed Brian Kemp. He came over to LJ. I had the camera ready from the time he got out of the car. And I said, hey, I want to talk to you about endorsing, president endorsing. So I got that. Now, the guy had around $10 million to spend. More money than anybody in the race. He had, now you stop and think about it, he had 5 opponents, still has 1, but he had 5 opponents in the primary. He had Michael Williams, Hunter Hill, Clay Tippins, okay, Brian Kemp, Secretary of State, and then there's himself, 5. He didn't have 5, there was 5 total. 3 of them endorsed Kemp. Everybody's endorsed Kemp. Williams endorsed Kemp, Tippins endorsed Kemp, Hunter Hill endorsed Kemp. Casey Cagle came away not able to get the endorsement of one of his opponents. Not one. 3 went the other way. That's number 1. Number 2, here's my opinion, and I think I'm right, all jokes aside. He tried to lead the voters in the state of Georgia and lead you to believe Trump had endorsed him. Okay? Now, you can campaign, something I've learned about this president, you can campaign saying you support the president. You can campaign saying, I agree with the president. But you can't take something that he hasn't given you being his endorsement.
Right.
You understand where I'm going?
Sure.
And if you get in the mailbox in the last week and you don't keep up, you get the impression from the Cagle campaign, the impression that Trump's endorsed him. That's number 1. Where did the Trump endorsement come from? Keep in mind in Georgia politics, Karen Handel was Secretary of State. Karen Handel left Secretary of State to run for governor against Nathan Deal. Okay, who was governor at that time? Sonny Perdue. Okay, Brian Kemp became Secretary of State. How? Sonny Perdue appointed him to Secretary of State. Follow me?
After Karen Handel dropped out.
After Karen Handel
Had to
Stepped out.
had to
stepped
step
out to run
because-
for governor.
Right.
So after that, Sonny Perdue put Brian Kemp in Secretary of State, right? So you put somebody you like, right?
Right.
He
Who is-
subsequently ran for office and won.
And then he ran,
He
but
wasn't,
he was
wasn't a
appointed.
lame duck the entire time.
No,
he
but
was
he
elected
appointed-
by
right.
the people.
He was elected, but what I'm saying is,
Yes.
he got into the office by appointment. Okay, and I believe, this is my belief, that politics works this way. That Sonny Perdue was instrumental in Karen Handel running against Deal, so Kemp could be Secretary of State. I believe they all do the political moving around of the
Checkerboard.
pieces, right?
Yep.
You agree? That being said, then Deal beats Karen Handel. But who is Sonny Perdue today? He's in the president's cabinet, right? He is the
Department of Agriculture.
He's the agricultural secretary, right? So when Cagle goes in the last week, these are all my opinions, but I think they're pretty close. When Cagle goes in the last 30 days or 2 weeks, trying to give you, the voter, the impression that he is the Trump man, that Donald Trump is supporting Casey Cagle. He is the real Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
I think Sonny Perdue goes in the office and, Mr. President, you know, I don't think you should take kindly that this man is trying to take your endorsement. All right, this is just what I think, all right? And I think Donald Trump said, okay, what do you think we ought to do, Sonny? And Sonny says, I think we ought to send out one of them there tweets, you know?
What do you? Wasn't there a cabinet meeting on Wednesday morning?
Yeah.
Let me put a 44 Magnum in your revolver for
Right?
you.
Wasn't there a cabinet meeting? Right? Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And I think he said, Mr. President, I need to see you before you go. We got this governor's race down there, and I just don't think you'd appreciate that man putting out stuff implying that you've endorsed him.
And is part of it that Nathan Deal did endorse Cagle? Is that?
Yes, exactly. Why? Because thank you. You're pulling that fish in the boat. Because what happened? Nathan Deal came out Monday and endorsed. The governor came out Monday, and this is where we get the greatest, one of the greatest ever. I mean, of all time. Nathan Deal endorses Monday. President sends out a tweet, and I get a text message. It's rare back. I get a text message from you-know-who, Rick, that says, I see your governor, and I will raise you a president. So that's one of the ones. And then we put it in an article, and then I had him send Natalie a message. Natalie said,
Is he mad at me?
Is he mad at me? I said, no, but don't speak to him without your attorney.
Yeah, he
So
told
let's
poor,
go back.
he
Let's
told
go back
poor
to
Natalie
what you,
that I was going to
what
come
you
after her
said.
for plagiarizing.
The governor of Georgia, Nathan Deal, endorsed Monday. Okay? Casey Cagle. Now, let me say another thing. These are all my opinions, but I keep saying this, but I think I'm pretty close. Deal has basically snubbed the president. Now, when put on the spot, Deal has said kind words about the president. But when President Donald Trump has done a couple things that leave you going, oh, what do I do here? Deal has distanced himself from the president a couple times already, right?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest picture we have of Deal and Donald Trump, okay, is when Deal had no choice, the governor had no choice but to be next to him at the national championship game. Agree? That's one of the few pictures that you have with Nathan Deal and Donald Trump. And do you have Nathan Deal up in Washington, D.C. for the governor's meetings? Do you see those governor's meetings in D.C.? Do you see Nathan to the left or right or in the room? Do you? No, he has scheduling conflicts. So we're talking about a governor that has not been very kind to our president, whether you want to believe it or not. Monday endorsed Cagle. Cagle basically is trying to steal, from most of people's opinion, Trump's endorsement that he never gave. And then all of a sudden, Sonny says, you know, Mr. President, I need to talk to you about something. Now, last but not least, sources tell me that Sonny doesn't care a whole lot for Nathan. There's not a lot of love.
It probably goes back to the Karen Handel thing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of love. Well, there's a couple things there, but there's not a lot of love on that Sonny Perdue side of the coin and Nathan Deal. There you go. So, President of the United States comes into the Georgia race, and I'll wrap this up when you guys start the conversation, Yeah, because I got a lot more on it. President of the United States comes into the race, tweets out that he's supporting Brian Kemp. Okay? That kindly put the kibosh on those mailers you're getting. So what if you're home right now and you go to the mailbox and you get one of those mailers out and it's from Casey Cagle and it leads you to believe that Trump's endorsed him, but then again you're watching all the news and you say President Trump's endorsed Brian Kemp. How's that make Cagle look? So he puts the kibosh on that. President endorses. Newt Gingrich endorses. Okay, yeah, Newt came out yesterday. Endorsed. And the Vice President, Mike Pence, is doing a rally with Brian Kemp in Macon tomorrow.
Wow.
And last but not least,
the coup.
Insider Advantage, Fox 5 Insider Advantage, the freshest, like bread, freshest poll out there, has Kemp 55, Cagle 37.
Whoa.
What say you, Bruce? That's that whole Cagle thing you've been asking for weeks.
Where's David Perdue stand?
I'll sit back.
Where's David Perdue stand?
And as the chair, ask any question.
Where's David Perdue?
He's not coming out and saying, quote, okay? Let's see. I hope I don't get you in trouble because you're a mentor to me, and I hope I don't get you in trouble, but I know, well, let's just go with it because you've been public. Martha Zoller, which I don't know how many of you know Martha. Martha is over in the Gainesville area. Martha ran for Congress. Martha has been on the radio for years. Martha Zoller works for David Perdue. I'm not implying David is endorsed, but Martha openly helped, not worked for in a paid role, but helped Brian Kemp and supports Brian Kemp. So now when you ask that, I do know there's some people surrounding the Perdue organization.
Indirect connection.
Indirectly has supported, okay,
but they don't want to go on the record for whatever
But David
reason.
Perdue has not, so I want to be clear on that. And Sonny Perdue has not. Now, Sonny Perdue hasn't come out and endorsed. I'm saying Sonny Perdue because, you know, he's the guy that said, Mr. President, I need to see you. My thing is you can keep talking it, but President Donald Trump, he giveth and he taketh away. He giveth endorsement. Yeah. You don't take it. And I think that really resonated with him. Go ahead, Rick.
Brian, I like your assessment a lot, and I see more plausible reasons why that's the exact. But I called you last night with a little different perspective.
Right.
From I always try to forget his name, and I'm doing a pretty good job of it right now.
You're trying to forget his name.
Yeah, I know. Eric Erickson.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't like that.
That's a rule. My God. Oh, my God.
Oh, I turned him off.
Anyway,
I know.
To your point,
he had a little bit of a different perspective. You want to
bet.
go there? I know you were taking a nap when I called you, so I don't know if you remember the whole thing.
Rick calls up. What are you doing? I'm sleeping.
That's right.
It's only 5:30. Hey, I had the early bird special at the Sizzler, and now I'm taking a nap. So, that being said. Okay.
even the pedestrians liked it.
Go ahead and give it.
I mean,
I wanted to put the disclaimer here. Yeah. I don't hate the guy because Mom did not allow us to hate anybody. We got in trouble. We got the backhand. I know now you go to jail for that. But we were not. We were never allowed to hate anybody with Mom. So I very much dislike him. So you can go with that. Okay?
He was.
Why do I dislike him? He disinvited
the president.
All right, go ahead.
To Atlanta.
Right, go ahead.
When they were going to have a debate, correct?
Yes.
And I haven't liked him since.
The Red State Gathering.
The Red State Gathering. Yeah. Anyway, he implied. He didn't imply. He said he is a very good friend of Brian Kemp. Supports Brian Kemp. Kemp didn't know anything about it, which we all agree on, I think. But he said that the president did it because of what you said. Is the way I recall the conversation that he was, or the point that he was trying to make. Casey Cagle was running around saying that he had an endorsement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From the president.
What Cagle did is he found a couple people. Go ahead, finish.
He also
didn't mean to interrupt.
He also specifically did not support the president on his platform until he got into this runoff. And then
Cagle?
all of us,
You're talking Eric here? Or
No, Cagle.
Cagle.
Okay.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, he's the closest thing to. He's attached at the hip to Donald Trump.
What's he said in his ads? Because I saw some blurb, because I don't really watch him that. Something about, supports the Trump agenda or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
heard
no.
that-
He has
I heard
done
that the other
everything
day.
to lead you to believe that he's Donald Trump.
But didn't use the
reincarnated.
words endorsed.
No, he didn't use it.
Infers.
But here's the thing. Let me ask
He
you the question.
implies it,
Let
so
me
we
ask you
can
the question.
infer it.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, this is the thing, and there are bills. Now we want to be for the side of just being straight up honest. The Senate. Now let's be clear. The Senate has been. If you're looking for the conservative body in Georgia, it has been the Senate. Now
The state senate.
the state senate,
We're
right?
talking about-
The state
okay.
senate, okay. The state senate has sent some very conservative legislation over to the House. They've bantered back and forth, cut it up, but the state senate has sent more, what I would call, and it's no disrespect to the Speaker of the House or the House, but the state senate has pushed a lot more what you consider conservative agenda. Okay, to the point where if we go with the RFRA, religious freedom, okay, the Senate sent that to the House. The House and Senate went back and forth, did a couple compromises, but keep in mind, Nathan Deal vetoed it, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, and this is what I know Casey Cagle's not going to like, but it's the facts. He was caught on tape saying what? He picked politics over policy, right? Remember that
Yeah,
line,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So the other day, if you have any conviction, okay, the other day when he stood side by side with Nathan Deal, and Nathan Deal said, I know Casey Cagle will be the governor that will continue what we started. He's standing here from the Senate that sent the religious freedom bill to this guy's desk. The guy he's standing next to vetoed it. So is he once again, through his actions, standing next to Nathan Deal saying, I'm picking politics over policy? See, to me, they say, well, you would never win. Well, you know what? They told Donald Trump he would never win. I have to tell you right now, look at the camera. There is no way I would have stood next to Nathan Deal the other day. No way. When you have a governor that has knocked down several things and vetoed more things coming out of the Senate, that you are the lieutenant governor, and the lieutenant governor, if you don't know, presides over the state Senate. Okay? And then you stand next to him, and he says, this is the guy over here that's going to keep the ball moving. Well, if you felt that, why didn't you, sign a couple of pieces of legislation? I don't know what's
Has Deal always been that way? He's always been kind of left of center or independent?
Deal's a Democrat. What the hell? Don't push me. I mean, you're going to get everything.
I defer my 2 minutes to the chair.
And 30
Do
minutes
you
later.
realize? Do you realize Brian Kemp, if elected, will be the first actual Republican governor in the state of Georgia? Sonny Perdue, I'm not knocking. Sonny Perdue was a Democrat that moved over to Republican. Nathan Deal was a Democrat that moved over to Republican.
Okay, but
I
he's been
remember
here
the
4
day.
years.
I
Give me some
remember the day. I remember the day Old Dixie went down, and then I remember the day Nathan Deal switched from Democrat to Republican. I remember the day. We took a guy. I told you you're going to do this. We took a guy that was the congressman of the 9th District that was up on ethics charges, that was coming up on ethics charges in the House of
remember that?
Representatives.
I don't remember this particular.
And he
Sonny Deal on
resigned
ethics charges?
because
Not Sonny,
because if
Nathan Deal?
you
I've
are
never been a fan of Nathan.
actively a congressman, right? Senate has authority over you. But if you resign, Senate no longer, the Congress no longer, or the House no longer has authority. Nathan Deal resigned. God knows I'm in trouble now. He resigned because he was coming up on ethics charges.
Yeah.
So we took the guy that was coming up on ethics charges, and we said, "Hey, we would love for this guy to be governor. Sounds like our guy."
Jane and I are going to go to breakfast, by the way.
Jane, say something. Pull me out of this.
Let's get us out of this.
Oh, you're not gonna like
Oh, you know
this.
what? She's got to vote today. She hasn't voted yet.
Yeah, gotta go vote.
Well,
So,
early
so-
voting ends today.
Yep.
Okay. Early voting ends today, and Tuesday is election day. What say you?
Some people say that some Democrats, locally, statewide, nationwide, went over to the Republican Party to infiltrate, dilute, contaminate the Republican Party. Just saying. I've read that before.
I have
Molds.
too.
No, I agree
You're
with
talking
you.
about molds.
No, you're absolutely correct.
It's a concentrated effort, some
Whoa.
people say, to just dilute the...
Well, there's a move afoot nationwide, I think, to do that,
There is.
to go into the primaries and get a candidate that probably isn't as strong
Oh, that's for sure.
as one would have liked to go against the Democrat. Isn't that right, Brian?
Yes. Well, in this, and let's take it's 9 o'clock. Let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and have our final segment. But
Fine. Are we through already?
no. I mean our last 30 minutes. But let's remember this as we're discussing the governor's race and why we are. It's because the president has weighed in. It's now a national race. A lot of people are looking across it. I mean, you can find articles on this in the New York Times, Washington Post. They've all written articles. And while we're talking about this, you do realize that George Soros has put $1 million
Yep.
in Stacey Abrams' campaign fund.
And that's who you do
$1
not
million,
support.
and the Democrats will have the money. I'm going to go to break with this. I have a quick question. We'll go to break. Have you seen the commercial where the Brian Kemp and the masseuse and they're in the
Yes,
massage?
yes.
Do you understand what they're trying to say?
No.
You don't, right?
No.
You can't figure out exactly what they're trying to say.
Having some guy touch me in the first place is weird.
Right, but
anyway.
you've watched that commercial. You've watched that commercial, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't figure out exactly what they're trying to get you to understand as a voter.
Right.
Have you seen the commercial?
We talked about that. I watched it again this morning, and I still don't understand it.
Have you watched
I haven't
it?
watched it, but
Okay.
I know I wouldn't understand it. Or probably I would have. I should have.
Here's the difference, okay?
The only thing that's missing was hot
Here's the
stones.
difference. Now, Casey Cagle has spent $10 million. Casey Cagle has spent about $10 million, and his campaign staff at the top is terrible, atrocious. How you people ever get a job, and if you will ever get another job, Casey, I think I would have looked at their resume and noticed their last campaign they managed was Mike Dukakis, okay, before I hired them. God, am I in trouble this morning?
The tank helmet.
Anyhow, listen, Casey Cagle's not a bad candidate, folks. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's on the record. I looked at him Tuesday night, and I shook his hand, and I said, I will not see you again before the election. And I said, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, I respect you, and I've enjoyed meeting your family because I've been in Los Angeles. I told him, this is not a bad guy per se. It's just campaigns. So anyhow, you got the massage therapist campaign commercial, right? Nobody can figure it out. Now, here's what you got with Brian Kemp. I'll need total silence for this. Here's what you got with Brian Kemp. Hello, my name is Brian Kemp. I support the President of the United States, Donald Trump. I say God bless you, and I say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you what, if you don't do any of that, I'm probably not your guy. I'm an unapologetic conservative, and that's the way I'll be when you elect me your next governor.
Not bad.
Right?
Not bad.
That's it. Boom. What did Donald Trump win in America? I'll build a wall and say Merry Christmas. I tell you what, the brainchild over there at the Cagle campaign, woo! Take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
We're back. I'm your host, BKP. This is the All-Star Political Panel with Bruce, Rick, and Jane. Let's switch gears from Casey Cagle and the governor's race to everybody. Let's go from start with Bruce. Your opinion of the press conference with Vladimir Putin and the reaction of the media. Where we're at now, Russia, Russia, Russia. What say you?
Helsinki was.
Oh, I
How long?
so
now?
much.
Just a lot. He goes home. He said that was like Monday. I got to wait all the way to Friday.
I think it was, a tempest in a teapot. There are bigger issues behind closed doors that are percolating.
Well, the thing is they get mad. The media gets mad that he always goes into his electoral college win and the victory, but they never talk about that they always try to pin him down and say you really didn't win. He's always, well, why do you have to explain you won? Well, why did you tell me I didn't win? You know what I mean?
Well, and all the outrageous statements, you know, I mean, it was worse than Kristallnacht. It was worse than the Holocaust. I go, give me a break. Nobody believes that stuff. I mean, they hear it and they go, you know, go get a new life. It's just crazy.
Well, you know, I went all the way back to Stalin the other day on my show. I went all the way back. I started with Stalin meeting with FDR.
Roosevelt.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He
And
met
Churchill.
with FDR.
And Churchill? You mean, or y'all?
No. I was doing American presidents, okay? And I was going from World War II, and I went from FDR, and I went from Stalin to Khrushchev. And don't forget, Putin's entry into this country came through the Clintons. The first president that Vladimir Putin sat down with is William Jefferson Clinton, okay? And William Jefferson Clinton wrote, hey, I like this guy. I think, right? Remember I read that the other day. I read a clip from Clinton. Don't forget, Putin started into this country and infiltrating this country and what we do. Because I do believe the Russians try to hack us daily. So that the
We
Chinese,
try to hack them too.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
What say you?
Well, there's no doubt that optically the president had a tough week. But when you take away all of the hyperbole, I still think that he's going to come out a winner. And he doubled down yesterday by telling his staff, get Putin over here. We're going to go at it again this fall.
The stash has got to set up a new meeting.
Yeah, the stash has got to set up a new meeting. He couldn't have done anything that was going to be right.
Period.
If he came out and opened up the press conference with,
And hitting
I
it.
am going to nominate Barack Hussein Obama to the Supreme Court, there'd have been something wrong with it.
Well,
If
of
he
course,
would've- if he
he
would've
doesn't
come
have
out
a
in
law license
Helsinki-
anymore.
Yeah, right. It's just
It sounds silly.
wouldn't
It
matter to
sounds
them.
joke. It sounds like a joke. It sounds silly. But if he'd have been there at Helsinki, and he would have looked over and said, "Vladimir, now that I have everybody here in the world watching, you think this is a press conference? Nope. I plan to kick your ass right now." They would have. Nothing would have.
How rude
nothing
he
would
was. He
have.
was so rude. He doesn't
He
have
was
any
so rude
diplomacy.
to a world leader.
And no
Right.
diplomacy at all. He's just,
He does the same thing when he goes out on the campaign trail. He said,
I'm-
hey, take that heckler out of here. Beat
What
the
say
hell out
you
of
on
him.
this?
Well, several thoughts. America and Russia collaborated in World War II
Exactly.
to defeat Germany, and at the same time, Russia was taking all of our secret spying, and we were probably doing the same to them. That's just the way things happen. And I'll take the Democrats a little more seriously, but you know, I'm not. When they address several things, when they address Obama's statement, I'll have more leverage or
Flexibility.
flexibility. I mean,
yeah.
when they address that, what in the heck are they? And Hannity may show that once or twice. I think we ought to be showing that 15 times a day. Where's their outrage? Where is?
You won't see that in any mainstream
Well,
media. Never.
that's my
Never.
point. And we have. Where's their outrage? You know, when Obama's been disbarred, his wife has been disbarred. Where's their outrage with why? I mean, it to me, I am more amazed every day how they can actually stand up with their faces showing, ignoring all that trash that's really serious stuff, and then heaping it on us. And I'll say again, like I said last week, it's going to backfire on them. People are smarter than that, and when they came out with the
Actually,
Holocaust,
I think Gallup made a statement that there wasn't enough people to put it
I got
on
it
the
right
poll.
here.
You have it?
I got the Gallup
Oh,
poll.
You got it.
good.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
gonna.
let's
What
hear
you
that.
just said, he's going to validate.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're
exactly.
100%
Good.
right. You're 100% right. He's getting ready to validate it. You know, look, I'm thinking.
I got
and
your back.
I apply common sense, and not
flying
saying that
back and
jokingly.
seeing him.
I'm thinking if we used our best and brightest if we used our best and brightest investigators, and we gave them the time limit that they have been given, they came up with 12 Russians and were able to indict 12 Russians. Okay, what if our best and brightest would have used the same time and had a mandate to do this, where the DNC, Peter Strzok. What if they'd have really focused like they did? Could they not have? How do you tell me that our Department of Justice was able to focus so clearly and come up clearly, decisively able to indict 12 Russians?
When they can't even...
Right, when they can't figure out, something else
where
to
they
get
filed
one indictment. And the indictment they're working on, their claim to fame, their claim to fame, the one they're enjoying is Paul Manafort. Well, we've always known.
They got left.
Right. And am I right in that the 5 immunity deals that are being worked out, one is John Podesta?
I hope not.
John Podesta.
John Podesta.
No.
Yeah.
No, his brother.
The doctor?
His brother that has all the porn in his child.
Is it that? Wait a minute.
In his apartment.
Tony
Podesta.
Tony,
not
his brother.
John. John's got to go.
Sorry. Tony Podesta.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Podesta. You got it. Thank you.
Well, he knows
Tony
where the
Podesta
bodies
is
are buried.
one of the ones that they're working out an immunity
Who's
deal.
they?
Our department, Mueller. Mueller's working
Mueller.
out a deal.
Does Mueller have the power? Mueller
No,
alone?
he's asked the judge to grant 5.
But this is for
Immunity.
Limited immunity.
Limited, yeah, use immunity.
So Russia, the election. They keep trying to say that Trump is not a legitimate president. Now, here's my take, and you guys go with it. The whole thing is they don't want us to have elections. Elections are bad, and they don't want us to have them. Now, I'm going to bring this all the way home, okay? They don't want to stop till they get Chuck and Marianne. And let me explain how that works. Everywhere in America, every state handles it different. States handle elections. The Secretary of State certifies your election, okay? Every county in your state has either an election office, an election board, probate judge. Gilmer County, the probate judge does it. Fannin County, the election board over here handles it, okay?
That would be Chuck and
Right.
Marianne.
And that's where I'm bringing it around,
Yeah.
okay? So what they don't like is they don't like you controlling your election all the way down to your county, no matter where you're at in America. So over here in Fannin County, all right, we got Marianne and Chuck, and they're up there, and they purge the voter rolls. They submit. They validate. They send validation from you, the voter, in your county to the Secretary of State. Secretary of State validates it, sends it in to the Electoral College. Period. They want to take that away all the way here. All right, that's my opinion. Is Russia, believe it or not, doesn't stop till they take away your local elections or be in charge. It's just my opinion. What say you?
Well, Obama tried to put that into play.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Can I come back to...
You can go back to anything you want.
I want to come back to Helsinki just for a second,
Okay.
and Putin and Trump. And I'm going to go away from all the noise. And I think there is, when you go up at 30,000 feet and look at this whole thing, I think the big picture, excuse me, I'm got reflection in your face. I think the big picture is worldwide, the globalists are really nervous that Trump and Putin are getting closer and closer together.
They are terrified.
Why? Because they don't favor any of the globalist New World Order, one world, one currency, everybody on the same page, everybody making the same money. These two guys are nationalists. Like it or lump it, that's what they are. They believe...
Populist nationalists. Yeah.
The populist nationalists. They believe in borders. They believe in sovereign nations. And I think that the deep state, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund,
UN,
and the UN, all of those
You're right.
big words are going to start losing power. They're going to start losing power. NATO, IMF, United Nations, they're all going to be losing power.
EU.
So that is a total huge discussion in a broad way. But that's the view from 30,000 feet.
And it was echoed by Obama down in Johannesburg.
All right, I was wondering
Right.
when you brought that up.
Big
Did
deal.
you see the media gushing that Trump had screwed up so bad in Helsinki, but at least we were able to watch Obama.
Yeah, and he talked about kooky right-wing billionaires who are just, going
Say it
after
out
people's
loud.
populism.
I want the people to know what you just said. Say it.
I didn't watch it. I watched the first sentence and I was going to throw up. So I turned off the television.
I think
I mean, that was the most despicable thing. Y'all guys have such a great memory. I mean, you can remember all those old songs. See if you can remember this. I seem to remember that when Obama was just getting going, that his whole mantra was, we don't need to do war. We need to talk to all these people. We need to be friendly with everyone. We need to go and talk with everyone. Then he went around bowing and apologizing. So now Trump's saying, we're talking. So, I mean, it just goes on and on and on about how hypocritical they are. I mean, it's just beyond the pale for me. And one more thing, I was with some people that think they're really bright a while back ago. A lot of people, and you know what they say?
That wasn't us.
No. They say they really want to abolish the Electoral College. Anyone who says, and if that happens, they won't have to worry about the county, the state, the block, because then New York and California will rule and Florida
Rule the roost. You're absolutely correct.
Will own our country. And they're actually, and these people, I said, well, who wants those two cities and they just look like, oh, this woman is driving me nuts.
That had to be in a liberal elite group, huh?
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing is, I get amazed, and I like the way you said you were with a group that they think they're so smart. But, the Declaration of Independence, we wanted to create sovereign states. We banded together. I always say, why did people get so deep? We banded together, the Revolutionary War, we banded together to defeat Great Britain to create 13 sovereign states. So now we don't want to sit here because our population in Georgia is, let's just use 1 million for a number. We don't want to sit here in Georgia and have everything dictated at us because we have 1 million people by a state like California that has 5 million. Okay,
right.
So we want to have a sovereign state that plays a role in the republic. Now, I'm amazed here recently of the amount of people that do not understand we're a republic. Every single day they come on there, and I'm hearing all these big educated people say, are the pillars of our democracy. Our democracy is at stake.
We are a democracy. No, we're not.
No, we are not. And wouldn't you think as many times as the pillars of our democracy has been crumbling with MSNBC alone and CNN, we would be through by now? Every day they crumble.
But you keep watching.
Yeah.
But we're in a constitutional crisis every day.
They want a popular vote.
Someone said, I believe it was CNN, had less viewers, however they do those points, than the home network.
The home buyer network.
Yeah, the home
shopping
had less
network or
people. No, the build your own house.
HGTV.
Do that again.
Yeah,
HGTV.
Is that how you do that one?
Home and garden.
This is my hammer.
We're swinging a hammer out here, folks. That's great.
But no, I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, how do they stay?
But going back to your point, and a little to your point about elections down at this level, Hillary won something like 60 counties in the U.S. Some of them very populous, New York, California. Trump won over 3,000.
And they say he did.
There you go. You're just saying what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They yes.
We're here to validate you.
No, but I'm saying that's what they figured out what they have to
But
stop.
they're just in these really, highly populated enclave counties that she won. So, she got the popular vote in California, at least. I mean,
What do y'all know about the California wanting to succeed the
federal judge,
the conservatives?
federal
Most
judge
of it.
threw it out.
hadn't looked at that.
Yeah, but anyhow,
They're not allowing it on
it was
the
a
ballot.
setup. It was a setup.
2 days ago.
It was a setup. The way they had it drawn out.
Yeah.
The way they had it drawn
well,
out was it was a setup because they wanted 3 liberal Californias, not just one. So they were wanting to try to set it up to get 6 liberal senators, because every state gets 2, and change the congressional map to get more liberal to kill what handful of Republican Congress they have.
Now,
So,
I'm thinking the conservatives wanted to make a new.
Yeah,
California,
I think the
not
conservatives were
liberals.
going to like
The
kind of
conservatives
be Northern
wanted-
California.
Yeah, like New Mexico.
You just keep believing that.
It was New
No,
California.
No, California was going to, but the map that was drawn would not have favored any conservative in any of the 3 Californias. That's
Drawn
my
by
opinion.
whom?
And
I know,
they wanted
I need to look into it.
They wanted 6 Democrat senators. That's my
I do
opinion.
remember that.
But how about the good news out there, whether it's good or bad? The Democrat Party of California did not endorse Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, we talked
She
about
did
that
not
yesterday.
get the endorsement
Die-fi.
of her party. So let's go back. We got a couple minutes on Russia. Just anything on that, anything on the election, anything you want to say where the president was at there. Just what say you? Just keep going with that. How do you feel about some of that?
Well, I think that Putin and Trump both know that there's no option but to come together and go against the globalists, because it's not going to behoove either one of us. And then the other little countries, we're getting a lot of momentum. I mean the anti-globalists, a lot of momentum from the smaller countries, you know that. I mean, we're getting them coming on board, and this is do or die in my view. And that people say, oh, you know, it can never change, the world's not going to change that much. I mean, they're putting their heads in the sand. I have friends that I've spoken with I haven't in a long time, and I'll say, well, how do you view all this? Oh, I don't get into politics. I said, you don't what? Right now, you aren't into politics? They had no clue. You know, they're college graduates, they're going about their life, they have no clue. But I believe that the whole world is at stake. I mean, really, as far as we're slaves or we're not. And if the New World Order and the globalists take over, it's a serious business here. It's a serious business.
I totally agree with that.
I agree with you that, you know, 100% as far as you can go is what I agree with you. I think people are not awake to realize the table that Trump turned over.
That's
NATO,
exactly what he did.
From NATO
he
to
upset,
the world,
he upset the apple cart.
The
And
world
they're terrified.
financial, what is it? The financial
IMF,
world IMF, International Monetary Fund, UN. I mean, I don't think people realize the table this guy turned over. And I'm ashamed, and I'm not going against our public school system, our local teachers, or our administrators here, but I'm ashamed that we are at a point that our children don't know history and fall for the likes of Minka Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough, and these wackos on CNN, and Andrea Mitchell. Anyhow, what say you? I don't want to cut you guys short because I like to have enough time.
I got James back. I want to close the loop on Gallup real quick because we brought that up.
Okay, because here's what I like to do, and then Rick can do whatever the hell he wants. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, but here's what I like to do is to make sure that everybody here has a chance to discuss a topic that we may not have covered that is near and dear to their heart. So we start with Rick. Just joking.
I wanted to validate the point that Jane made earlier.
I know that. I'm joking. Folks.
Yeah, Gallup just came out with a
poll. What was the point Jane made? Can you remember it?
Which point? Me?
People don't care. Russia.
Russia. They don't care, people. 1,033 people on an. What do you think is the most important problem facing the country today? An open-ended question. 1,033 people. They divided it in 2 trends: economic problems and non-economic problems. The top economic problems was the economy in general, unemployment, jobs, trade deficit. The non-economic problems: immigration, illegal aliens, dissatisfaction with poor government leadership. Way down here was situation with Russia, and it didn't even gather a vote. They put an asterisk in there because there were not enough people that found Russia to be anything that they're worried about right now.
And when Gallup does a poll, folks, when they do an asterisk at the bottom, that means that answer to the question did not garner enough response to put it in the body of the poll.
That's
right?
exactly right.
So
way down
yeah,
there.
people don't care.
Just got your
Yeah, and along those
you
lines,
very much.
I heard somewhere that Lisa Page in her closed-door testimony said the DNC server wasn't hacked by the Russians. The Chinese.
Do you think
Chinese?
Do you think it's interesting that the word "very compromising" in her name came out several times? Mm-hmm. Remember that? Very compromising. Bruce, what did you bring today that you'd like to close with, or a subject we haven't discussed?
I think loser of the week is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hitting the campaign trail with Bernie Sanders. There's a match made in heaven.
for us.
I think actually I don't know which way that coin could flip. That could be a winner for us because she is out there just shooting it out, and some Dems are like, how do we stop her, man? Pull her back.
Well, exactly. I mean, because you should jump out to California, die fight it, and get the endorsement. The Secretary of State is running for her seat. Hispanic guy, Kevin De Leon.
You're so good with the names. We're going to bring you on board just for the names.
Hey, well, anyway, I mean, you know, they have a big problem going into the midterms. I mean,
Yes,
you know, what is their identity? They have a new slogan, "For the people."
For the people. What does that mean?
They got it from Lennon.
No, that's one of these ambulance. That's one of these ambulance chasers.
I'm with. It's like that Hillary thing. I'm with her. I'm with her.
No, that is a TV commercial for an ambulance chaser. You know, one of these law firms. You know, for the people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Motley and Associates for the people.
One call. That's all.
One call.
No. Stop. Rick, what say you?
I wanted to end on kind of a funny note. There's a double-A baseball team, a part of Tampa Bay. They're in Montgomery. They're called the Montgomery Biscuits. Isn't that a great name?
Hungry. Why
The Montgomery Biscuits. Anyway, they've got a promotion going on right now that they want to attract younger fans to the ballpark. So they came up with Millennial Night, and they're featuring selfie stations, napping areas, avocado burgers,
That's hysterical.
and participation ribbons for anybody that wants to come to the ballpark. Millennial Night
Send that to
at the
Send that to me, will you please?
at the Montgomery Biscuit Ballpark.
I dare you to show up. Do a segment on that.
Just another funny name for baseball teams.
Not right, those millennials. The youngest millennial right now is 26.
I wondered about that. I don't even know.
It goes
that.
from
All millennials
81
are, like, settling down and having families.
born in 81
are?
to
Yeah,
Okay,
really?
whoa. Subject.
Hey,
One
my
other
daughter's a
baseball thing,
millennial?
though. You know, the New Orleans team was AAA, and they used to be the Zephyrs. They changed their name 2 years ago. They're now the Baby Cakes.
No.
Jane.
I'm almost 30,
What
I'm
say?
millennial.
Stop.
I got a
Jane,
question.
what say you?
I got a question for baby cakes and biscuits.
Our new names.
Yeah, right. And
Baby
that-
Cake and Biscuits.
And biscuits.
I just want to know if these teams actually keep score when they go on the field.
Yes, they do.
Maybe it's not like
no, they're
you
official.
did good.
Yeah, they're official.
I mean, you
Are
know,
you wanting to use your final time to talk to Baby Cake?
might
and
as well.
Yes.
What
Might
say
as
you?
well. Well, the only thing that comes to my mind is that, if I can remember it, Wilson, in my view, in my humble opinion, Woodrow Wilson was a socialist. So was FDR. Go on and on and on. And they've been trying to promote this agenda for a long time, very, very slowly. And so now they started pushing the word socialism. It was progressive first, and then they're kind of sneaking out social. Oh no, we're not socialists. I looked up. There's the same and now this the woman who says I'm a socialist.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
She's not floating it. She is stating it, and people aren't liking it. That's the good thing.
Well, they did an interview with her. I mean, she's clueless. I mean, she's just totally clueless.
Oh, and not only that, she's clueless. So I hope that backfires too, because she came out. I mean, she's hurting the cause, the
Thank
social
you.
cause.
This segment, all three of you, thank you. It just wouldn't be what it is without the three of you, and I appreciate you so much. We got to get to our pet of the week, but do you not find it interesting that Robert Mueller got the paperwork together, had it finished, printed out, ready to go, just in time to indict 12 Russians, just in time for reporters to embarrass our president around the world and ask about those indictments. Don't you find that interesting? The timing was so good that the reporters had something ready to say in front of Vladimir Putin. Interesting. I don't know how that matches up, but it just seems like they can't find any other indictments just in time. What if they had found an indictment on, let's say, Uma Abedin or anybody, anyone other than a Russian? Would the press over there in front of Vladimir Putin say, Mr. President, this past week we found out that there was corruption in the DNC, corruption with Deborah Wasserman Schultz. The Anwan brothers really did do something with those servers, and we found out who killed Seth Rich. Would you like to comment on that? No, nothing got there just in time for the president to comment on that. But those indictments, but what those indictments do not say, they do not say they altered the outcome of the election. Nobody can prove that.
And they did.
All right? So Hillary, you're still just out there complaining and crying. Your husband's got a book at Walmart with some guy, Patterson, and hard to tell who he's with this afternoon, right? Don't forget, the first door that got open for Vladimir Putin in this country is William Jefferson Clinton. We'll be back Monday, and I will probably be talking about the governor's race Monday morning. Mike Pence, Vice President of the United States, doing a rally for Brian Kemp tomorrow in Macon. Oh, God, poor Mr. Casey Cagle. Where did it go wrong? Our Pet of the Week is coming up right after these messages.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
fly, you get so fly.